Okay, so this is difficult for me to present today because I wanted to do a deputation and now we've got a really short time frame. I'd like to start off by saying item 13 I do not support. It's which is your notice of motion, Richard. I believe that we need to keep a democratic process open, and I'll be referring to the meeting we had in May where we talked about making it more open rather than closing it down. And as far as item 14 is concerned, of course I support an independent investigation into what's happened in Western Springs, because that was the main reason that I came to visit the board last time, was to say to you that you have an opportunity here to save face, to do and have an open and transparent independent assessment of Western Springs Forest, rather than having to have the Ombudsman or the Environment Court hold the board, the council to account. It's not a threat, it's a courtesy that I came to you to tell you that. So I'm hoping that you've all read the presentation that I emailed to you, including a video of the May meeting where Richard reached out to the audience to try and get a more democratic process happening and more engagement. And I've listed a whole pile of things that were mentioned in that, like videoing meetings, the chair's leniency on the length of people speaking in public forum, possibly amending your motion to suggest that we have 5 minutes for public forum rather than 3, because you can see how short it is for everyone. That the workshops be open, and which is part of a trend that's happening in other boards, and I would have thought that this board, representing the Civic Centre of Auckland, and I gave you a big long list at the beginning of all of those places that you represent, that's available for all Aucklanders, so that you actually make it, you should be a leader in this rather than a follower. There were aspects that weren't mentioned in the discussion, and one of those is that Albert Eden Board, every single board member gets to ask a question of whoever's presenting, which shows that you're actively listening. I'd like to see that happen here. I had a very emotional presentation to the board, and I was shut down on that, saying that I couldn't criticise a staff member, but the standing orders do not say that. That I, as a member of the public, can't do that. I'm sorry, I've read them and they don't say that, and we've got Warwick who can establish that, or we can read that out if necessary. There's another aspect that didn't come up in the previous meeting, which is this censoring and declining of what is being included and what isn't being included in the minutes. I'm sorry, Priscilla, I am going to continue because this is far too important to be in 3 minutes. And I also mentioned the apology from Member Christie for her untruly saying that I faked a heart attack.
Talk about that.
I can talk about me not faking a heart attack.
No,
I've never faked
a
heart attack.
You can't continue with it.
I can continue with it. I was not in an apology told that it was untrue, nor was I told, nor was it received on Facebook, nor was it received, put on Facebook in public where it was said in the first place. I will continue on.
No, that's enough, thank you.
I will continue on.
No, let her speak.
I will continue
Can we call a
on.
point of order, please?
Let us speak.
Can we call a point of order? Sorry, just the information that's been shared is inappropriate in this forum regarding...
It is not inappropriate.
No, I'm sorry, we cannot. I've already ruled that you cannot speak about that matter.
Okay,
we'll now proceed on to questions from members.
I'm now moving on to the part where I've said to the board that you have breached your own resolution. If you don't have an internal investigation of that, it will be taken to the Ombudsman. That's not a threat, that's information. I've outlined to you in this that I sent to you which parts of your resolution have been breached. I won't spend the time in going over all of those specifically, but the other part that's incredibly important is the breach of the resource consent. And the resource consent clearly says, item number 67, access track, processing areas and culvert removal. Within 3 months of pine tree removal being completed, the access track, culvert, landing/chipping areas shall be disestablished and the area returned to the same general topographical formation as existed prior to the works being undertaken.
Right. Thank you, Gael.
Disestablished is a strong word saying that you must return the land to its slope and to its contours so that those waterways can come in. Now, if you don't address it, then it will be going as an enforcement order to the Environment Court.
Concluded.
In previous meetings, Richard,
Could you leave the meeting if you're not going to obey the rulings of the chair?
This is not okay.
It's not
Thank you,
okay
Sarah.
for
You
you
have a
to be
question.
potentially denying other speakers the opportunity to speak.
There are no deputations this time. That's a period of 10 minutes
No,
per
you have
person.
to
That's
stop
30
speaking,
minutes that
Gael.
wasn't there.
Right.
I'm waiting for Sarah's question. Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry, I think Julie had something to say.
Could you turn the microphone on, please?
Julie? Sorry, Julie just asked if there was something we can do. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
About restoring order.
Right.
Yes, there is some. Sorry,
Look,
sorry, could I answer
no,
that
no,
question?
you're not speaking.
Can I
Sarah's
answer
going to
that?
ask a
That wasn't a
question.
question to
We'll
me.
have
I
to
beg
ask you
your
to leave
pardon.
the meeting if you persist in
I beg your pardon.
disobeying
I
the
thought
chair.
it was a question to me, and I was
No, it's not
answering
a
a
question to
to
you at all.
So I'll wait for this question.
May I make a comment?
Make it a
Very
quick,
quick
make
one.
it sound like a
My
question.
very quick comment is that I am incredibly stressed.
So am I.
Right, okay, well,
And
if
suddenly this meeting's moving at a pace, it's as if we're trying to control what's coming out of Gail's mouth. And it just feels very distasteful, disrespectful. I'm really stressed.
So am I.
Thank you. So
Now, my
let's-
question, and I'd quite like a conversation about
No,
why
we
this...
cannot have a conversation. We're here
But we're
to have
suddenly
these people
changing
help
the
us
way our
make
meetings
decisions.
are run.
Well, we're not
Let
able to
us
do
help
that.
you.
Can we?
This is
I
going
will
to end
move.
in chaos.
That
Now,
the
my
Waitemata
question, my
There's a
question,
Thank you.
I am really stressed. My question is, were you satisfied with the apology that you were given by the elected
Oh,
member
come
that
on.
criticised you?
I'll
No,
move the
I was
Waitemata-
not.
No, you can't ask that question.
Why not? Would you
The
carry on?
Waitemata local board
I'll
received